She-Man hooking up with Yo Costa.
Is it Yo Costa or is it Joe Costa?
I don't know.
Joe Costa.
Io Costa.
Ho Costa, more like it.
Didn't know if it was a soft J like in Yoggin.
That's true. Hello and welcome to the WIP, the What If podcast that's a work in progress. I'm your host, Nova Prime, the Slim James, joined by my cohorts, Nova Kane, the franchise, and of course, No Variety, Andrew the Giant. Yeah, I'm talking about, of course, your vocal inflection. Of course, I'm one to talk. So yeah, today's going to be a little bit of a different episode. I only got one What If to talk about. Instead, we'll do a Marvel media extravaganza, and discussing the recently passed, although not as recently as when I planned this, Herb Trimpe. That's why this episode is being entitled Trimpe Cocktail. Him, and then a bunch of other stuff. So first up on the docket, the Bangor Toy and Comic Con we went to at the end of April.
You guys went to. I just sure did that one.
Sure was.
And it sounds like I'm happy I didn't go to that one.
You dodged a bullet.
Yes.
Overall, I think we still had fun.
Yes, that's mostly because of gambling and
we spent minimal time at the con itself.
Yeah, it's just it's a shame because for whatever reason they got on the past their prime celebrity train. And you got the Power Rangers, Ernie Hudson, Lando Calrissian, but nobody really who's ever done anything of note with comic books. No. Just a bunch of local artists, which is fine, but It so underscores that there's nobody famous in comic books when there's film and TV stars.
Yeah, and it's
so it's why can't you get one guy whom
comic toy convention? I don't want to be that guy that says it's a comic convention and there were no.
I will.
Come on. Was there at least the guy that does Sea Ghost?
No.
See,
nobody.
How can you not even get Maine
artists? Zombie submarine guy.
Yeah.
There.
Oh yeah, that's true. Zombie Sub 920.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
No Rick Parker.
Nope. Well, yeah, that's
just
people.
Jesus Island was there.
Well, they're everywhere.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
One of the guys from that won best local artist in the Portland Phoenix thing that they do every year.
The art's not terrible.
Mortimer Glum.
Mortimer Glum.
Yeah.
Is that a real
fantastic name? I don't know. It's hard to tell.
He
looks like a Mortimer Glum.
The art's not bad in that. It's just they're harping on the same idea, and it's just the fact that it's oh my God, we're subverting religion. Oh my God, yeah, you and everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. When did Preacher come out?
96.
Supposed to be doing a show of that too.
Yeah.
I think.
With Seth Rogen
really?
attached to it in some way. I don't think acting as Preacher. Or the Preacher.
How about Seth MacFarlane instead?
Constantine got canceled.
I
didn't watch any of it.
Nor did I.
Probably part of the reason it got canceled.
Because
I didn't watch it.
Or no Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, no Keanu. No, it had Nick Cage. Well then,
that would be even better.
Yeah.
Because he is a big.
They would just cancel all of the other shows.
every episode, every channel.
Sorry.
Converse to the Bangor Toy and Comic Con was the Maine Comic Arts Festival.
I went to that one.
Yes, it's less money than the Comic Con ticket.
$5 compared to what?
40, or no.
Total, yeah, it was 40 or 50 total for the 2 days.
Okay,
still
20 something a day or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
My final word on the Bangor Toy and Comic Con, by the way, is to just play by ear. We'll see, Nick. I'm not buying tickets sight unseen like I did this year.
Yeah.
We'll see if there's anything.
Yeah, we did that too.
Worth caring about.
Hoping that
they'd announce something.
They would announce artists sooner, but they just kept announcing media guests. There were so many.
Yeah, Deep Roy.
Did anyone
Peter Mayhew? Well, he was supposed to be there, but he didn't show up.
Oh, he's got a case of the spostas.
Yeah.
Did you see anyone actually hanging out with the Red Ranger?
The yellow one was they were in a corner. So the yellow one was in the corner. The yellow went yellow from the corner, yellow, blue, black, and red. So as you get farther away from the corner, most people were hanging out with the Red Ranger and the Black Ranger.
I didn't even know if the Yellow Ranger was actually there because I didn't see her at all. But
yeah.
The Maine Comic Arts Festival was good though because it's lower cost, local artists, but a lot of them swirling around.
Yeah, so even if it's not good, you're only out $5.
And there's a lot because there wasn't even really a lot of comic artists at the Bangor one.
No, even local ones.
Yeah. There's more like artisans.
Yeah, there was a lot
Buy
of
my crafts.
Oh, like the decoupage.
Yeah. Oh, so many decoupage. Always the decoupage.
Yeah.
It's even better than making your own crafts, just taking something and gluing it to something else.
Yeah.
But then they had, semi-notorious artists. Joe Quinones and Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah.
The Howard the Duck crew.
Yeah.
So many Howard the Ducks signed.
Oh, man. All three of them.
All day.
I saw some guy that was getting his vinyl bobblehead box signed, which to me just seemed weird because I don't think they had anything to do with
No,
the
they
bobblehead.
didn't. They did, and it's not like they created the character.
No.
That was like Steve Gerber or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's pointless.
Yes.
Yeah, why would you do that?
I don't
As
know.
it is, Rick Parker, when I asked him to sign the Thunderstrike #1, he says, okay. Like because he just lettered it.
Yeah, with a 1
Like,
jillion comics he's lettered.
Yeah.
Like Camp Candy and the Police Academy adaptation.
He told me that he was the most published Marvel artist at the time because of those little bullpen bits that would go in every single comic.
Mm-hmm.
So there was Rick Parker art in every comic in the 90s.
I'd imagine. And then, it's weird because he'd pop up in the What Does,
Yep.
but very little in regular.
Well, I got one of the
art.
2099 signed because he had a little backup story in it.
I talked comics with him because we're trying to get our own comic book empire off the ground. Check out giantsizecomicthings.com for details. Moving on. Marvel Mass Media. Avengers, The Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
It came out at the beginning of the month.
It did.
I saw it.
Me too.
Me too.
Thoughts?
I liked it. It was better than the first. I think that's mostly because it didn't have
He
the story.
disagrees.
I can see. All you listeners out there, you can't see the face that's happening right now.
It's a yikes face.
I liked it because we didn't have to sit through the setup of it. It was more story than just, okay, let's get the team together and then they're going to fight because you have to fight before you can team up. So it sort of cut away some of that stuff.
There's some valid points. The Giant.
I also liked it. I don't know which I prefer more, though.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? See, the Avengers Age of Ultron, to me, represents more of everything. More characters. So many more characters. Like, they not only introduced Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and then also have to introduce and
They
give
weren't
the origin
technically introduced in the. Well, I guess introduced.
Jesus
they
Christ.
showed them.
Jesus Christ.
There was X-Men.
No, in the post-credits scene in one of the other movies,
Okay, how about they actually talk in this one?
and they were formally introduced.
Yeah.
Formally.
Formally, not
Yeah.
come on, guys. Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, have to have the origin of Ultron. Falcon, War Machine.
Well, those aren't new guys.
No, but there's so many
And they were
moving
barely
parts.
in them.
Yeah, but there's still just think about you have 6 characters already. So you know what you need is 6 more characters just flying around who to just show up to be like, hey guys,
Yeah.
and then fly off. It's well, is War Machine really a person? Is he really a character, or is he just a 5-second clip?
I think that's more like what the Avengers are about, though, because it's such a huge team. Like, in the comics, who hasn't been an Avenger? Who doesn't just, stop by the mansion, and then hijinks ensue, and they're off on another, adventure?
Wacky adventure. Yeah, I guess. But it's just I don't know, to me it's just so many, give me that memorable Falcon moment.
That was from Captain America when he was getting lapped by Captain America.
Well, he wasn't in it long enough, really. He was at the party.
Exactly. It's
Then he fought for a little bit.
And
Of
War Machine's got
Same
jokes.
thing. He was at the party, and then he fought for a little bit. Of
Yeah.
Boom!
Yeah, so it's and it's just to me, the first Avengers was maybe the peak. I'm not saying that these are bad, but it's off peak, Because the Avengers, you might say you don't have to deal with the setup, but that's a story. What was the story in Avengers? Is that apparently I couldn't even follow Ultron's origin. They had the Mind Stone, and that was what he needed to take the artificial intelligence Tony created and make it into a full artificial intelligence that escaped through the internet and went back to robot bodies that Baron Strucker had built.
Yeah, but comic books. I mean,
But then he takes the soul gem or mind gem or whichever gem it is, and then he sticks it in Vision. So apparently he doesn't need it anymore. But then that makes it so Vision can have a brain, but Vision keeps it. He doesn't not need it. He keeps it and just uses it to shoot laser beams.
Oh yeah.
You know, this awesome infinity gem. I just pew 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 pew.
Yeah, I mean there are a lot of holes. I'll admit that.
Yeah, like
it is convoluted.
the worst thing was like that. You never saw why Ultron was a dick. He just started out as a dick.
I thought it was just it was Tony Stark.
The other
Tony
thing
Stark's a dick.
with why do you need to kill everybody? And it didn't take very long for Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver to go, oh shit, he's going to kill everybody. We probably shouldn't. Well, what the fuck did they think he was going to do?
Yeah.
What did they think he was talking about?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It was like with Ultron, like it was supposed to be that he like misinterpreted Tony Stark's mission or whatever,
like saving the Earth.
Yeah, but we never saw him like misinterpret things, or whatever. He just went, "I'm James Spader, so I'm a dick now. Killed everybody." Like, what?
Got no strings on me. He did have a little more humor than I was expecting.
Yes,
like
that's
Ultron,
that's also
I wasn't expecting any.
No. Yeah, that's also my problem with this movie. More jokes, everybody, just too many jokes all across the board. Everybody's got jokes.
They might be trying to offset DC's policy, their no jokes policy.
Well,
they're not putting any jokes in their movies, so
they
now
tried
they're
to up it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
They're trying to make it funny for everybody all the time.
And it is, but
that's
even
why
the bad guys are funny.
Yeah, well, that's like what I'm saying. Like Avengers, the first one, that had humor in it, and it was the most successful movie ever.
Yeah.
And so movie executives go, "Oh my God, more of everything." They love a crossover. We'll put in double the amount of characters.
Well, then
they like the jokes.
Guardians of the Galaxy was funny.
Yeah,
way more jokes.
Keep going
up and up.
Well, obviously this made billions of dollars because of the jokes.
Well, I think with a production schedule that they would have been making Avengers, they wouldn't have added in. So I think the first Avengers is sort of where it started. They go, oh, well, more humor equals, it makes it more palatable for the kids.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm not saying that, obviously Avengers Age of Ultron is to be a serious drama. But, like, if you cut out, like, 20% of the jokes, had Ultron just be a straight villain and not be like have his office humor sometimes.
No, he should have been that cold, calculating, like no emotion, nothing.
Yeah, and you can just leave the jokes to War Machine and Hawkeye.
Plus, I feel like if they keep stepping it up, like you said, it seems like it's more jokes in Guardians and then more jokes now.
And then we have a Paul Rudd movie coming.
Yeah,
that's
jokes.
Not going to be any jokes in that one.
That's the one of the points I have scribbled down in my notes. You got Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers 2, and Ant-Man. 3 movies in a row, all jokes. Yeah. You wouldn't expect that at Avengers, but apparently here we are. And then Civil War, that might not have more jokes, but it is another crossover movie with 800 characters.
That seems like it should be a darker tone movie, like most of the Captain America movies have been so far.
Yeah,
Thor's been a little darker.
Yeah, Thor's lame.
Yeah, well, with the Dark World, it's going to.
Granted, it's not that.
Well, I like it. Yeah, but I like it because it's different than the other movies. Iron Man and Captain America are both set on Earth, guns, etc. So you got something different with Thor.
That's why I'm hoping Black Panther will be a bit less funny, and Doctor Strange will be more.
But what if Black Panther is funny?
Doctor Strange will be wacky.
Yeah, it'll be wacky, but it won't be like just making jokes all the time. It'll probably be awkward humor because it's Doctor Strange.
It's true.
And Benedict.
So Kat Dennings will show up and be like, "What's Orgamagu?" Nah, 2 broke girls. Mephisto only on the 3rd date.
Who's even the big Black Panther villain?
Claw. He was introduced in the Avengers too. So
he got his arm cut off. So
leads
now
into
he can have his
claw.
Big ass.
He doesn't have a claw.
It's a satellite dish.
Or bullhorn. Dr. Bullhorn.
Yeah.
It's better than Dr. Bong. With the bell head.
Oh God. Even if Civil War is more serious, it's still going to have 800 characters. So then you're like, well, who am I supposed to care about? Captain America, and then Daredevil swings by, and oh my God, it's Daredevil! But he's just like, hey guys.
See, that would be better, I think, if they did Civil War as like a mini-series on TV, where it can be very long, and they can actually show the different points of view in the war.
Yeah, it'll be tough to. Well, obviously they're tying in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing with the with the Inhumans, that's what's going to make
Yeah.
a lot of people with powers.
The
Yeah.
list and
So-
the thought of indexing them and
Yeah.
stuff, like, that's,
So that's obviously what they're leading up to that.
yeah. Here's hoping. Like I said, it probably won't be bad.
No.
But we could be, I'm not going to, be too alarmed, but we could be in the descent of superhero movies where, like, all this DC shit that they're like, oh my god, we're going to make our own universe. And then these movies,
Yeah, but they're not.
maybe make less money, and they're like, oh,
They
never
are with
mind.
Their movies. Their movies are all in the same universe, but they can't really do that with the TV show. I mean, they can say it is.
Well-
but they have different actors
well,
on the TV show.
yeah, but I mean-
older versions, because I mean, like Flash and Green Arrow are set when Batman is young, so they could just have older.
Is it though?
Well, because Bruce Wayne's a little boy.
it's on different networks.
Yeah, Gotham isn't the same
Oh,
as...
Gotham! I'm
Gotham
thinking
is on-
Gotham.
yeah.
Never mind.
It's
Sorry.
on Fox.
Yeah, well, I'm
The
not.
others are
I'm not
on
even
CW.
saying relating in TV. I'm just saying like that they were gonna have their Justice League line of movies.
Yeah.
But they might get cold
they
feet
got it.
if these movies start, sort of people have had their fill and they just get
Yeah.
too silly that.
Yeah, but they've already announced.
Well,
Oh,
you can
right,
announce. You
right.
can say just
Oh,
kidding.
They'll
Yeah.
do it.
No.
Yeah, they will.
No.
Oh, you don't think they'll do that? They
What
don't think-
DC?
Yeah.
No, Warner Brothers is.
With all the
It's
hype
not-
that they're hyping
all the
this shit
hype.
up.
They got Supergirl.
Like, I'm not
TV
saying they're
show
not-
coming out.
I'm not
Oh.
saying they're not gonna
Oh,
make
boy.
Batman v
like-
Superman: Dawn of Justice, but like after that, like if it doesn't go too hot, they
I
might be
really
like,
don't think. Yeah.
these 8 movies, maybe not, because Warner Brothers makes DC movies. It's not in
Yeah.
DC Studios.
I don't think
See, Marvel will stick with it because
Cyborg
So
movie,
what else are they gonna make?
that's what they do.
Russian Manhunter movie.
Ugh.
Yeah, those
They're
aren't.
doing that.
No one
Yeah,
wants to see
see,
that.
those movies aren't going to get made. Just write it down.
And they're doing. It seems like they're putting a lot of stake in TV.
Yeah.
They have a lot of TV properties, and they're having the Flash and Arrow spin-off,
Yep.
Heroes of Tomorrow,
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
with there's going to be time travel, and Hawk Girl is in it.
No. Hot girl.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they like travel through time, and White Canary. I didn't know that was a thing.
Is that the opposite? Like Bizarro
Well,
World Black Canary?
spoiler
Is she
alert.
black?
Black Canary in Arrow dies. So they have the trailer for the new show out,
Yeah.
and she's in it as White Canary. But nowhere in these previous seasons of Arrow or Flash does she come back from the dead.
Is it like Dagger?
So she's dead, but now look, she's a different character in this other show.
oh, it's her
But they
twin.
don't say that. I think they may have showed her in the Lazarus Pit, but
Oh.
you would think that they would do that on Arrow and say, "Look, she's back," but now she's going to be on
Now
this
go
show.
watch this
Yeah.
show.
That's enough White Canaries.
Let's say, DC got some good TV properties. Marvel's, they're not going to do the spin-off with Mockingbird.
Oh,
Okay.
damn.
Because, like, wait, it's very specific Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, how is that going to be any different than the other show?
So many agent shows.
Exactly. But they are going to do Agent Carter again, renewed Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the finale. Everybody they introduced this season dies.
Yeah, that's
Like, they just pretty much just lined them all up and just killed them all off. So
That's good.
you can
Clean
put up
house.
the body count without actually having to kill any of the main characters because they all got main characteritis.
yeah.
Except Simmons. They have this weird obelisk thing that's made of, it's like, goes solid and then goes glorp and then
Oh.
gets reformed solid. It's like, oh my god, it's alien metal or
That's
something.
the thing that they use to make the Terrigen mist or
Maybe.
something from it, because that's what's in those vials.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is that
that's
the
why
diviner?
it's a big, the big obelisk. It has like cubes where they've taken pieces from it
Okay.
to make. So they have these little vials of stuff.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, vials.
You
And they break a vial and it makes a cloud.
thus and kills people, turning them to stone if
Yeah.
they're not
Oh, well, I
human.
saw her draw
So-
Yeah.
one of those.
Yeah. So yeah, and
They're
that's
crystals.
almost.
But your description would make her seem like quite a vile villain.
Yes.
Oh, well.
But I think that's where they're getting that from.
Yeah.
But yeah, she
Okay.
gets.
Sucked in. Now, is she dead, or is she gonna?
No, she's not.
She
dead.
yeah,
She's
exactly.
dead.
That's,
She
Yeah,
said. It could be.
It goes to liquid and like grabs her, and then goes back to solid. So
Yeah.
that she's in the rock.
So like she could
Dwayne
either
Johnson.
Yes.
she could she could either be dead, least likely, sucked into another dimension, because why not? There's also
They should just make it so she's dead. She's in rock. She should be dead.
yeah, but then there's also Iron Maiden, a character introduced in the 1999
She had a bunch of
Earth X.
spikes that drive into her skin at all the time.
No, she's just coated in vibranium.
Oh.
And
She's a giant vibrator.
and so she's encapsulated and can't free herself from this.
She was covered
Shell.
in vibranium and is unable to free herself.
Yeah. So, it's not exactly the same, but as an adaptation,
Yeah.
that would be a character. Probably isn't going to happen, but it might.
Well, who owns?
The point is that her and Fitz were just so close to boning hardcore right on the screen.
So close.
And then he's like,
he asked her on a date.
yeah, I'm just going to go check, Yelp for hot dining spots, and then she gets sucked in.
They were gonna go on a date.
I know, so he's just going to cry and masturbate
Oh.
into Yelp.
She left. He's gonna think she just bailed completely. I'm out.
Who knows what'll happen? But we do know that Skye will lead her own C team of Avengers of superpowered people, which that might be what season 3 is about more, to mix it up rather than just having spy shit.
Yeah.
Are they going to have any of the people from the movies, like War Machine people, going
No.
to the...
No.
I don't think that they may just to tie it in some. Well,
Just
they
do
are
like the
probably just
cameos.
with the Kobe Smulders.
Yeah.
Her, and Nick Fury.
Yeah, they show
Yeah.
up every now and
They'll
then.
probably just do that since they already have,
No,
just
Yeah.
to show that it's the same.
I mean,
thing.
Don Cheadle's always seemed like he's game for anything, so
Yeah.
I'm sure he would if they asked him to.
Just
War
seems like
Machine
that kind
would
of
be.
guy.
Yeah. But yeah.
But yeah, so those vials they're trying to get away with them, and they fall into the ocean,
Uh-oh.
and
They
then
get into
Atlanteans?
fish oil supplements.
yeah, and they break.
Is this going to make Namor?
Oh. Namor confirmed.
So they break, and then it shows a series of events where fish get caught and then processed, and then the last shot is somebody putting a bottle of fish oil supplement on the shelf.
Like the
Because
Incredible,
that's what's going to get eaten
Yeah.
first. Everyone goes into the fish oil supplements.
like the Incredible Hulk with his soda.
superpowers.
They're going to die.
I'll have my
Fish oil.
I got my Incredible Hulk soda and my Inhuman fish oil down the hatch. I'm super now.
So that's just going to be sort of how it spreads to the world.
Yeah,
I guess,
people were going
all
to start
around.
turning to rock and dying.
Well, maybe
Or
because it's
getting
in such a low
superpowers.
dosage, they just sort of get like plaque psoriasis.
Grayscale.
Yeah.
They're gonna Grey Gargoyle it.
Oh.
Grey Gargoyle confirmed
Oh.
season 3.
Confirmed.
And last but not least, in Marvel media that I finally finished watching, Daredevil.
Still haven't finished it.
I just finished it an hour ago.
Good stuff.
Yes.
Good change of pace for Marvel. It's more gritty, down to earth, blood and guts.
I liked every episode.
Every second of it.
Even
all day.
There were a couple episodes where there were no fighting. It was just like law stuff. They were still really good.
Well, I understand. You guys were saying, like, he hasn't even got his costume, or he just got his costume
He
last.
did in the
Yeah, it's all leading up to him becoming Daredevil.
It's a long,
yeah the
that's
episode titled Daredevil.
But it's not like a slow burn. Like, it's pretty good the whole way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you get
All
plenty
the
of
way.
stuff all the way throughout.
Oh.
Now, granted, all of these were people like I had no idea who they were because I don't care about the Hand
Some of them-
or C-listers who are
Right.
organized
Some
crime.
of the episodes I would Google things as names were mentioned to see
Yeah.
if they
Stiltman?
the Gladiator.
There is an Stiltman Easter egg
Oh.
in
There's
that
also
in that guy's shop.
Type-faced?
Really?
Yeah, apparently he's a guy too. I had no idea. He has
Gladiator.
saw blade arms.
Oh, the Gladiator. Yeah, Melvin Potter.
Yeah.
He makes costumes for a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kingpin and
Yeah, I know this guy.
then Daredevil. Yeah, I know this guy.
Well,
Went to high
apparently
school with
Stiltman's pants were in the stilt pants were in the background of a shot. Yeah, I didn't notice, but I was
How can you not notice,
Gotta
like,
go
still
back and check out
pants?
these Easter eggs. There was
Yeah.
one that I noticed in the
Stiltman
finale.
confirmed season 2.
Well, like when they put, it was the name on the side of a truck, and it's big, blatantly showing it. So I Googled it, and it's a plastic, like Aqueous Plastics, and apparently that plastics company was featured in a crossover issue between Daredevil and Punisher. And that company made plastic explosives. So Kingpin gets out of that truck and into like Springvale home furnishings truck, and that is also a tie-in with a Daredevil and a Punisher issue from like years later.
Man. If Marvel has the rights, Punisher could be a good
And
like
it said
background
home
character
furnishings for 75 years, which is what Marvel's
Yeah.
75th anniversary is.
Well, they should include him. I mean, they're doing Street in New York City.
Yeah, even if they don't want to go full Punisher with his own series, because a series of him killing people and stuff, he would make a great foil to Daredevil as a guy who is far more aggressive about busting criminal ass.
I think in any of the shows he'd be good because he'd always just sort of set that line where like we don't want to become like him.
Yeah.
Because they're not doing Daredevil season 2, are they? It's just
Yeah, they are.
I thought it was just one season of
It
this
was
thing.
supposed to be, but then Netflix.
It got hot, so they're like, So
Hell's Kitchen.
We need it.
Yeah, they should probably just replace Jessica Jones. Although I think they already had like the art and all the actors and everything going.
Where is it going to go in? Is it going to go in before Jessica Jones or?
Oh yeah, are they keeping the schedule? Like, what's coming next?
I think it's
I don't know.
2016, which they may try to fit it in before.
Think they'll do Daredevil season 2 and something else at the same time?
Jessica Jones is next, right?
I think so, just based on like the fact that I've seen like more stuff like confirmed.
Yeah, they actually have people cast.
But apparently,
Purple Man.
Yeah.
And her.
Like Karen Page, she's not too bad in there.
It's a balloon. It's got a monkey on it.
She's gets a little weepy sometimes, and she's not a pretty crier. She got like beet red eyes when she cries. This couple of episodes, I'm like, yeeks.
It's because she's a ginger, so she has very fair skin. So when she cries, her eyes look very bright red.
And because it's gritty and Netflix, we saw some side boob in the first episode or whatever.
Woo!
Gritty and Netflix.
Side boob. So other things about Daredevil, it's got good lighting. They use like some of the colors, like there's bluish scenes and then orangish scenes, and it makes good, has some depth to it that you're gonna lack in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is much more sort of campy.
ABC.
Yeah.
Disney 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, the ABC in both the network and simplicity.
Yeah.
Sometimes Foggy might have been almost too goofy, but then they had the episode where he gets real with Daredevil.
Yeah. So
that's good. And, Marvel always needs levity anyway. Because Daredevil, goddamn. I'm just going to talk like this. It's not even that Matt Murdock does have some lighter moments, but it always sounds the same. He's just...
That's another guy that it's... Like, if you saw him, like, how do you not know it's him?
Yeah, Karen Page is, like, up close and personal, and then, like... He's got the same permanent 5 o'clock shadow, and his voice kind of sounds the same, and he's the same build.
And he's always bruised and bleeding everywhere all the time.
Yeah, he seems like, in superhero comics, like one of the ones that fights being identified the most. Like, Spider-Man never really tries to let anyone know, but Daredevil, like, everyone finds out, and then he's like, no, I'm really not.
It wasn't me.
Yeah,
as a blind lawyer.
As Shaggy would advise you.
Obviously it wasn't
you.
Because I'm blind. You guys are dumb.
And he just smacks over a glass of water. What? So yeah, the other Easter eggs, obviously Carl Crusher Creel.
How does that
Was
work?
it the same one from S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah.
Well, it was all I saw was a poster.
Yeah, well, he's the boxer who fights Battling Jack Murdoch.
Yeah, but how does that work? If these are supposed to be in the same universe as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that guy was...
Well, that guy could be like 40 in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because Daredevil was a kid, 20 years ago.
Yeah, but how old was his dad?
Even if his dad could be
40.
Yeah, his dad could be an aged veteran.
I guess.
And fighting a young upstart who's the champion, because, Yeah. Just think about how right I am about things.
So like...
Plus...
He's got to be at least 10 years older than Daredevil, Crusher Creel.
Yeah, and the absorbing man abilities could impede his aging because comics. Mm-hmm. You get superpowers and suddenly, don't worry about it. Got that, he absorbed some multivitamins and he just
some
became...
fish oil?
Yeah.
Some lotions, some oil of Olay.
Exactly. Also the
Or Teflon coating on his skin, so
Sweet.
never gets dirty.
The office across from Nelson and Murdoch, Attorneys at Law, was Atlas Comics, which I appreciate as a guy who owns an Atlas comic. That's right, Black Knight #1 in the house. Woo-hoo. Rosario Dawson, is that her? Yeah. She's apparently doing my research, aka research other people did on the internet. She's an amalgamation of somebody who fucked Nick Cage. Not Nick Cage. Shit. It's Ray Park or Ray Palmer all over again. Okay, a lady who fucked Luke Cage. That's why she was like, yeah, my ex-boyfriend, he was crazy. And then also 3 characters who were...
Christmas, though.
It's so sweet.
On Christmas. And then also Night Nurse, who was like the guy who built suits. Ladies who cared for broken superheroes.
Oh, yeah, Night Nurse. She dated Doctor Strange for a while. I have a bunch of those issues.
Yeah,
Night Nurse
Yeah.
issues?
No. Yeah, I was saying.
Although she's coming out with... I saw in the previews, last one I put up, there was a Night Nurse comic book coming out.
There already had been.
Already is,
yeah, like from like the 70s. It was so bizarre because I've never seen these anywhere. And like,
it's just a nurse.
At night.
So, preview for season 2. They mentioned Daredevil mentioned his Greek girlfriend. Could be Electric Nachos in the house.
Yeah.
The war with the hand, because the Stick was all like, "Yo, there's a war coming."
Yeah. What was that?
Much like Raiden
that
did.
Kid. That little boy
in
the shipping crate that they were trying to get, like they were.
That's all. That's like all the stuff that
Cloud or something.
I don't care about in Marvel Comics. All the Daredevil ninja shit.
I didn't look into it, but what did you?
No, but
I'm referring to it as like the black, like as Black Mist or Black Cloud.
Noob Saibot.
It was a little kid in a shipping crate that was getting shipped in, and like the Asian gang was going to meet the shipment. Yeah. And somebody showed up to fuck the kid up. But, like, did the kid have powers or something?
Presumably.
Was it White Tiger?
No.
Maybe, but now he's dead? Well, he was a boy.
Yeah,
well,
so
like, no. I know the White Tiger
Black Panther
gets killed all the time. And, like, then they just give the amulet to someone else.
Like, brown-skinned, like Indian or something.
Oh.
That's racist.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That's just it's all gonna. We're gonna get ninjas next year in Daredevil season 2. It's basically what it's gonna
be. Season 3.
You know, or maybe they'll just put Sky in there because everything needs more Sky. It's gonna be Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 3. It's gonna be all about Sky, and they're gonna kill it because Sky's the worst.
Sky's the limit.
Sky is the limit.
Yes.
That's as much as you can take. Just once you get to Sky, you're just like, nope, I'm all set.
Should just be Coulson.
Yes. But instead you get Sky, who's like, oh my god, nah. And then she's like, oh, I'm quirky and funny. And then, oh, feelings. Oh, I'm quirky and funny now. It's like,
should just
you have
Coulson
now.
and May.
Yes.
Like, with May only being there part-time. Just Coulson.
What is just Coulson gonna do? Fly around
in his car?
Well, what does he do? He goes off on all those secret missions anyway. Like when he's recruiting other superpowered humans.
Yeah, except that the Theta Protocol was a goddamn helicarrier. That was the biggest letdown ever.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this big mystery they've been leading up to all season has been like a G.I. Joe accessory.
Yep.
There it is. That's the cocktail of this episode. Now on to the Trimpe.
Herb Trimpe, the artist. What is your favorite character to draw? Either the visual or the action that they give you? I mean, what really attracts you to them?
Okay. There was a priest
and a rabbi.
And an imam sitting in a bar. No. When you're working deadlines, it's a rapid fire process. Usually even before the book is penciled, it's on to the writer, those pages to be written at that time, and and then the inker, and it's kind of assembly line process. And there wasn't a whole lot of thought to exactly, and this is my experience, as to exactly there was not a lot of retrospective thought about, am I having fun? That kind of thing. For me, the job had an awful lot to do with deadlines, had an awful lot to do with making sure there was enough time on the other end for the book to be, to go into the next stage of production, and of course the paycheck. I mean, that was the main thing. I mean, I worked on a quota basis. I got paid for the amount of work I did. So there was an inclination to go as rapidly as possible and still produce something that was pretty much comprehensive to the reader. Although on the other side of that coin, I have hacked out quite a number of jobs just to make a deadline with not a lot of forethought going into the work.
So, Herb Trimpe was a workhorse of a artist. Like, he wasn't as famous as Jack Kirby or Steve Ditko or any of those, but he worked in that sort of late 60s, early 70s era, and then into the 80s. But in listening to an interview, it's very much a not romanticized depiction of working in comics. He was basically like, yeah, I'd hack out like 2 or 3 books a month, just got to get the pages out. And to all of the fans, to all of the fans who are like, oh man, if I could just draw Spider-Man once. And then this guy's like, yeah, it's a living.
I gotta draw it every fucking day.
Exactly.
Worst thing ever.
Yeah,
draw comics.
When it turns into a production line thing. That's the harsh reality.
Yeah.
Another thing is, he didn't really have a lot of his own creations. He would just fill in for issues or stuff. He worked on Machine Man.
Let's talk about Machine Man.
It's racism, let's just be honest.
The Machine Man limited series I always bang on about with Iron Man 2020.
Hey, you gotta have something. And
Exactly.
Machine Man is something.
That's your something.
I mean, Machine Man was created by Jack Kirby. I have the first issue, Machine Man #1, and it's actually decent. It's a decent concept. He's the last living robot, this humanoid thing created, and all the other ones went berserk. So, they think he is obviously evil. So he's hunted by the government, even though he's a good guy.
So is it set really far in the future?
No, it's set now. The 70s at the time.
So
It's sort of like the Hulk in that he's the misunderstood hero.
yeah,
But,
I just don't
instead of
understand,
super
the
strength, though, he has skateboard feet.
Nice.
Of course he does.
And extendo arms.
Well, yeah, the extendo arms are class. I knew he
And,
had those at least.
his foil is in the storyline the exact same thing as Thunderbolt Ross, and he looks exactly like Thunderbolt Ross. But he's got Nick Fury's eye patch. So he's Thunderbolt Fury, the greatest name ever. So then, when Jack Kirby left Machine Man, Steve Ditko had issue number 10 and filled in some. So, some famous people did Machine Man. So just think about that.
Nah.
So, these are famous artists on unheralded assignments, It's not Fantastic Four, Spider-Man. And,
Machine Man.
And then you got an unheralded artist like Herb Trimpe. And, what I bring this up is that he was announced for the Boston Comic Con this year. But then he died shortly thereafter.
Yeah, him and
Norman Lee.
Yeah.
So they had to add an in memoriam section to their page. Yikes.
What did
I just hope
curse.
I just hope Stan Lee holds on so we can sign my Amazing Spider-Man 45. After that, whatever. And please, Haley Atwell, hold on so I can, because I liked Agent Carter and
Cards stay tight. I'm back.
the fiance loved Agent Carter more than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff, which I can see because it was better.
Far less Sky.
Yes, so much less Sky.
more grounded.
Yeah. So Herb Trimpe also worked on Nick Fury a lot. Speaking of Thunderbolt Fury, he worked on the original Howling Commandos. Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the 80s. That was they revived his book, and then also at least 3 series that he worked on Nick Fury. You can't get enough of Fury.
No.
Well, when you work on a character that much, you start to push the boundaries of the characters. In fact, you might even push the boundaries of Earth's atmosphere. You might push it into space. And the result of pushing those boundaries is our what if we're discussing today. What if Sergeant Fury had fought World War II in outer space?
Just him?
No, the Howling Commandos are there too, in space.
Thompson, that's Dum Dum Dugan.
Jack Thompson, Mike Lee, Rick Ramirez. This is Junior Juniper. Pinky Pinkerton, Happy Sam Sawyer. You seem to know Dum Dum Dugan. The 107th, our tactical team.
You guys are the Howling Commandos.
Well, all of World War II took place in space?
Yes.
They're space Nazis?
Or just
Space Hitler?
Let me paint a picture to you.
Okay.
In this reality, the inventions, air quotes, of Leonardo da Vinci are properly built in the 15th century.
So it's like flying helicopters?
Yes. So mankind is ahead of the technology game by 400 years. Like, I was wondering how they'd explain why it's in space now, and they actually did, and I was like, oh my god, you actually put like a half an ounce of thought into this.
Kind of makes sense.
Unfortunately, that's where the thought stops.
Oh.
But let me just get through the plot.
Right.
And please, like, there's going to be plot holes, and there is no explanation.
Don't worry, we'll ask you.
Uh-huh. So it's World War II in space. So every location that is famous about World War II is now a spaceship. So the Pearl gets attacked out of nowhere.
What?
Oh.
Pearl spaceship.
So at least like spaceport. It's almost like a harbor
Nope.
in space.
Just it's a spaceship.
Station Pearl.
Uh-huh.
Station Pearl.
Yep.
So in this reality, space is divided into two sectors. That's right, all of space is divided into two sectors. Alpha and Beta on opposite
There's
sides.
just a line, and then you get all of this side.
But
We said like
don't
on
things move in space?
on
So-
opposite.
No.
They're dividing lines. It says they're on opposite sides of the sun. So like, does that change every day, or do like?
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
if we're on
different
one side,
orbits.
Pluto's
Exactly.
on this side. It
And-
doesn't mean we're always off.
Yeah, and different
So sometimes you're in.
different orbiting speeds would make that difficult.
Yes.
But
So-
there it is. Like
so-
that's my explanation. I wrote in my notes.
So like another week, and we're going to be enemies.
Exactly. You could be in enemy territory. Yeah.
Well, that's why they start the war when most of the planets are on their side. So that you only have a couple to defeat on the other side.
Also, Earth still exists, but they don't talk about it much. We're in space now. Don't worry about it.
Oh, who cares about Earth?
The Batons are space lizard creatures,
Oh.
and they attack Pearl. Space World War II is on.
Wait, so there's only one other species?
Apparently,
Oh.
Batons.
Batons.
So,
Master Batons.
over the course of several pages, blah blah blah, plot blah blah, Nick Fury and the Howling Commandos get together. He's like, oh my god, I'm Nick Fury. Better get some Howling
So
Commandos.
there's some dum-dum, space dumb.
Yes. So Fury, who, because he's in Howling Commandos version, has no patch,
Oh, right. This is early.
has a cigar in his space helmet,
What?
Yeah.
and it's lit.
What? So he can't see.
Dum Dum Dugan still has his bowler on underneath his. It's just there's just this straight up glass bowl.
Yes.
Helmet.
So if he dropped his cigar, he does
Yeah.
like chomp
Yeah.
around to try and find it.
And Dum Dum Dugan's hat.
Pull his arm in.
Dum Dum Dugan's hat falls off of his face in his space helmet. Like, that's a plot point. That's like, he's like, oh my god, I'm at a disadvantage. Why did I wear my space bowler?
Dugan, you Captain America, didn't you?
Yeah. But not as long as she did.
And Gabriel Jones, who is the Black Howling Commando.
Yeah.
Because
You needed one.
yeah, he has a sonic laser trumpet,
Oh.
as one is wont to do in space.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of like Tony Guitar and his partner there with the sax.
The appearance of the
You know, they fought
attackers
Dazzler.
more bizarre than even your
God.
world's most monstrous caricatures of the Oriental enemy.
Oh!
Racist.
Racist. Yeah.
Even more monstrous.
Yeah, are they saying that Asians are monstrous?
Well,
Who wrote this one? Was this Trimpe written to?
Yeah, and the other members of the Howling Commandos are no real consequence.
There's
Pinky Pinkerton is probably there.
No.
And their guys were like, oh my god, we're white guys, we do things,
Captain
whatever.
Sawyer's got a pipe in his helmet.
They're,
Everybody's smoking inside the space helmets.
You know what they
Yeah.
say about in space? If it's too smoky, just open a window.
and their commanding officer is a robot that spits out ticker tape commands. And the actual, the meat of the plot, Space Baron Strucker is double-crossing the rest of Earth to have the Batons launch a full-scale attack so that both sides will be weakened so that space Nazis can take over Earth.
Space Nazis.
So Sergeant Fury and the Commandos fight off the Nazis, send Strucker into the vacuum of space, fight off the Batons at the spaceship Yorktown, which is damaged, and then they make it to the spaceship Midway. So you can have your battles of this and battles of that.
I found the part where his hat falls in. Because when Dum Dum Dugan can't lick 10 times his weight in tin cans, hey, what the danged fedora falling over my face and can't take off this crummy helmet too, and then gets punched in the face.
Yeah, it's an actual plot point that his stupid hat gets on his face.
It's a fedora. I didn't know that. I thought he was a bowler.
I'm pretty sure it's a bowler. It's drawn as a bowler, but
yeah.
Maybe that's like formal Dum Dum when he's out, he's swagging.
This guy's talking as he's blowing his space trumpet.
That's very difficult. Because usually you just have to go into a trumpet.
So yeah, just look at this stuff presented before you.
Oh, that's fantastic. Shut up is spelled S-H-A-D-D.
Shut up. Shut up.
Yeah, surprised it doesn't have your face after.
So, yeah, they get back to Midway, and that's the end of Space World War II, apparently. There's no space nuclear bomb on Space Hiroshima.
Why not?
You know.
Full color poster spectacular.
In black and white.
I'll take your word
but
for
this
it,
stage is in full color.
Yeah.
Racist.
Space Captain America?
Yeah, the plot holes in this are many. Is there a Space Captain America?
And Toro and Human Torch?
Is he floating in a space iceberg somewhere? A comet?
Yeah, like Haley's Comet.
Yeah. Space Captain America is floating around in Haley's Comet.
Roger's Comet.
Yeah, so is there a Space Red Skull? Even deeper than that. Just follow. Is there the concept of Nazis in Space World War II? Is there a Space World War I? Was there trench fighting on the moon?
Yes.
You know? Like...
In
Earth,
asteroid field.
Earth is already presented as united in this alpha versus beta space war. So, like, the concept of German nationalism doesn't mean a lot in this context.
Yeah, you'd think, like, because they always say that once humanity finds aliens as a threat, then everyone's going to be like, alright, let's just make one big country that's the whole world.
Yes.
Because there's aliens.
Yes, as Watchmen would have us believe.
Yeah. And the Leaf of Heaven.
That ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
Unless the aliens are attacking all of the time.
As Independence Day would have. Welcome to Earth.
Welcome to Earth.
Yeah, not welcome to America. Come on. So, yeah, basically, there's a lot of leaps in logic for the Space World War II.
Well, I like the original idea you were talking about, like, them building Leonardo's machines, and so now it's advanced.
Yes.
That sounded interesting.
Yes, and then, but that was just justification for this goofball story.
Well, at least they had some.
Yeah, this book is a pure goof. It's not trying to be deep at all, so you get that going for it. And like,
it's not like a message against the Holocaust.
No, and like, you know, you got Dum Dum Dugan with his hat falling over his face. Clearly, there's
wacky.
Yeah, there's a sense of humor about the whole thing that it's so over the top that, you know, it's kind of a lark.
Are there space concentration camps?
No.
Well, like, why is there a war going on?
Alpha versus Beta. There's no.
That's it.
Yeah, Baron Strucker, as far as we can see, is the only Nazi involved in this war.
So the other aliens aren't like, we want to exterminate all the Jewish people.
No, and they're not like Japan, where I don't know why was Japan in World War II.
Because they like Germany.
Okay. And like, it doesn't say much about what's going on terra firma, space Earth. You know, do they care about World War II in space?
Do they even know about it?
Is what I'm saying. The subject of today's discussion, Trimpe.
Mm-hmm.
The art's fine.
Oh,
you know,
good.
it's got some nice detailed faces, like some texture here, not just like smiley faces, and some good action shots that aren't too busy with lines. So you know, all in all,
it's not bad.
We're gonna miss him.
Yeah, and I can't really give this a recommend because it's about the goofiest story ever.
What was the latest thing that he did? Did he do anything recently?
I don't know. I was more concentrated on the old stuff. Like, he drew the first appearance of Wolverine.
Yeah.
But he didn't design the first, Wolverine costume. And, yeah, that was sort of the Comic-Con thing I was watching with the interview, that it was a discussion panel. Like, so what was your favorite character to draw? And rather than answer anything like Wolverine, he was like, I don't really care. It's a living.
Money, please.
Exactly.
They all look exactly the same.
So, in this episode of Odds and Ends, if Nick Fury in space was the odds, this is the end. Hello and welcome from the world of ADR. I'm your host, the Slim James, here to give you a couple info bits that I neglected to mention in today's episode. The comic we reviewed was What If Volume 1, number 14, and the Herb Trimpe interview mentioned in this is the second result if you type in Herb Trimpe to search on YouTube. Wolverine Ace 2012 from the Albuquerque Comic Expo. It's in the first few minutes of the clip I pulled, and if you watch the whole thing, more power to you. Onward and upward. So in closing, I will remind you to follow us on Twitter at the Slim James or at giant_size, theslimjames.com, giantsizeComicThings.com. The WIP What If podcast is on iTunes, on Stitcher, on YouTube, and on Vimeo. So go out there and find us. And remember, don't spend the rest of your life asking, what if?